Good morning, everybody. Douglas Elliman, Sal Emirati, Team Emirati here at 1045, here from our YouTube channel, which you could certainly subscribe to and catch up with me daily. Uh, you know, I've talked about it before. I'm going to go over the difference between a seller's listing agent and a buyer's agent. Um, it's an interesting idea. When you list a house, the seller actually will sign a number of forms, disclosure forms, listing forms. Basically, they're agreeing with your company to list for a certain duration of time, and you've agreed to do certain things for them. And that varies depending on the agent and the company, of course. But you've had a relationship with them, they've interviewed agents, they felt comfortable with you, there's a trust level, so they're going to list their property with you. Now, aside from follow-ups, questions you might have to need to be answered, or a weekly Monday morning phone call roundup as to what activity happened that weekend, you don't have a lot of contact one-on-one, face-to-face with your agent. They're out there marketing your home. And this is, I've always said it's important that a listing agent be a part of a big company with the reach and the marketing and the support that you need to reach so many more people than a smaller company might be able to do, or a less active company. So it's important if you're listing your home to list with a big company. But let's go on the other side. If you're working with a buyer's agent, a company matters a little bit less. What matters to you now is that agent has the experience in that area you're searching, knowledge, of course, and history of what's gone on there, knowing what you want and what your needs are, your top three or your must-haves, and to keep in touch with you not only daily, but probably more than once a day. When you're a listing agent, you want to show that property, the homeowner's never home. But when you're working as a buyer's agent, you're face-to-face, one-on-one, daily, not weekly, but almost daily with your clients. You obviously are at every single showing. You've set up all of those showings for them in an order and a time frame that meets their needs. So my point is you have quite a bit more interaction with your buyer's agent. So why, when you list a property, will you list with one agent and one company and trust in them? Why, when you're working to buy a home, you don't do the same? You don't work with one agent? Why are you hesitant to sign a similar contract that says, I will work with your company, your agent for this period of time when I'm searching for this particular home? It really doesn't make a lot of sense to me. A lot of people go out. Oh, I've gotten the calls. You the listing agent on that property? No, it's in my office or it's another company. Well, I only work with the listing agent. Okay. You think you have a leg up with the listing agent. Let's think about that for a second. I'm unfortunately didn't get into contract yet, but my first contract this coming January and the first of the year will be working with a buyer's client. And I have a vested interest in that buyer buying that property. I don't have anybody else interested in that property. So when we didn't get the initial accepted offer, I kept in touch. I kind of followed up. I kept my eye on that property, and then I didn't see it moving forward. And it is a holiday season here. I was in touch with the agent going, what's going on? Well, they're dragging their feet. I'm not sure if they're interested. Where are your buyers at? Are they still interested? We ended up getting an accepted offer on something they previously lost because they have a buyer's agent. They have an agent that has interested in their needs and that one house they were looking at. Now let's talk about that listing agent, which happened to be out of town at the time. That he might have 20 phone numbers of people that had called him on that property. And when this first deal wasn't going well, how many of those 20 is he going to be able to call? You could be a small fish in a big pond by working with a listing agent, is my point. But if you choose an agent, and again, interview, make sure you have relationship with them that you trust and feel comfortable with them and their knowledge, why would you not want to be the one that agent cares about and not just go to a listing agent where you could be one of 20 phone calls that listing agents may keep track of, may have notes of, may have forgotten about you? So the buyer contract, again, very simple. And this is what the lawsuit was all about the other day too, and we're still talking about that. The buyer contract is a certain duration of time for you to find me a house, reasonable use to find me a house for the needs that I'm looking for. So consider it. AARP, National Association of Realtors, they all promote buyer representation. But it's not just that disclosure form you form. It's a contract that says, I want to buy a house with you because I trust you. Do you? Then sign the contract and get the additional support that a buyer's agent will give you. As a buyer's agent, I have sold houses that have never listed, were never listing, for sale by owners. There's a number of things that I would do as a buyer's agent to find you exactly what you're looking for. Look at expireds that expired 2 years ago, if they fit your needs. Knock on doors, send the letters. This is something that it's work, and it's something that typical buyers have their own jobs and don't have time to do. So we talked, yesterday's YouTube video discussed the difference between who pays the commission, Sally or Brian. It's worth a look. I might go over it again someday soon. Sal Ammirati, Douglas Elliman, over and out.